Okay, good morning. So this is Ma'am Dayan and we're going to study about narratives for today and until Thursday, May 6th. So let us know first what is our lesson. So our lesson for today is all about narratives. Specifically, we're going to evaluate narrative based on how the author developed the elements. So we have the setting, characters, which are about heroes and villains, and the plot. So this lesson was already taught on the first quarter, so I know some of you might remember this, and I do hope so that you remember. And let's start with the review. So we have here the following question. The first question: what is a narrative? Second one: what are the elements of a narrative writing? Number three: what is the setting of the story? Number four: what is a character in a narrative story? Number five: what is the difference of a hero from a villain in a narrative story? So this can be found on page 8 of your English module. So this is what I know. So you have choices there so that you could answer the following question. So I'll give you 3 minutes to answer, and after the 3 minutes we're going to check. Okay, are you ready? Let's start. Okay, so based on the module, let us now check. Okay, so the first question is, what is a narrative? So if you answered letter A, you are correct. A narrative is a form of writing that tells a story. Now, the second question. What are the elements of a narrative story? If you answered letter B, you are correct. The elements of a narrative story are letter B, setting, characters, plot, theme, and point of view. Number 3. What is setting in a narrative story? So if you answer letter A, you are correct. It is the location of the events in time and place. Number 4. What is character in a narrative story? So if you answered letter A, a character is a person or other being in a narrative, you are correct. Number 5. What is the difference of a hero from a villain? A villain character in a narrative story. So if your answer is letter C, a hero is a main character who is also a protagonist or the good guy, while the villain is an influence character who is also an antagonist or the bad guy. You are correct. So did you got all the 5 correct answers correct? So if you did, very good. So now we're going to move on with our lesson. Okay, so again, narrative writing tells a story. Okay, narrative writing or narrative from the root word to narrate, which means magkwento. So a narrative is a kwento. Okay, so let us know what is or what are narratives. So narratives narrate. So when we say narrate, they tell or retells a story. So examples of narratives are short stories, legends, novels, and other narrative texts. So a movie or drama is also a narrative. So a narrative can be fictional, so hindi siya totoo, or non-fictional or real events, totoong kwento. Okay? So we have 5 elements of narrative. So again, first one is the character. Sino? Who? Who are the characters in the story? Kanino nagre-revolve yung kwento? And then, setting. Where? Where and when did the story happen? Okay? Sometimes, the setting can be described in the story. Minsan naman, nakalagay mismo kung saan siya nangyari. May name ng place. Okay? Nakalagay yung time, anong oras. Minsan naman, dinidescribe yung time. So, that is the setting. Then we have the plot. So the plot starts with the rising action, starts with the exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and the denouement or the conclusion. Okay, but we're not yet going to deal with the plot today because the plot is a separate lesson by itself. And then we have the point of view. Okay, point of view. Who is the one telling the story? First person ba siya? Yung mismo character ba yung nagkukwento? Or third person ba siya? Ibang tao yung nagkukwento. Diyan minsan pumapasok si narrator pag ibang tao yung nagkukwento. Or, yung ibang tao na yun, pwede siyang character, pero nakikita niya yung buhay ni main character base dun sa nakita niya. So, ano pa rin siya? Third person. Kasi kinukwento niya yung buhay ng iba. So, that's the point of view. And then, last one, we have the theme. So, again, a narrative text or a narrative is a type of text that uses description to tell a story. Okay? Narratives typically have 5 elements. We have the character, the setting, the plot, the point of view, and the theme. But today, we're only going to discuss character and the setting. So, kindly get your module, go to page, if I'm not mistaken, page 9. Page 9. Let us check. Okay. Okay, page 9. Yes, page 9 of your English module. So you could find this text. Anong pangalan ng text? The Proud King. Okay, so I'm going to give you 5 minutes to read and then answer. So, may tanong doon. So, ano yung tanong? Ito. First one, where is the setting of the story? Second, who is the main character? Number 3, who are the characters in the story? Number 4, is it good to be proud and why? And number 5, as young boys and girls, how can you show humility? Number 6, do you consider the king as a hero or as a villain in the story, and why? So you have 5 minutes to answer this. Again, this can be found on page 9. This is what's in page 9 of your English module. So your time starts now. Okay, are you done? So let us check. Okay, so let us check. So number one, where is the setting of the story? So the story happened in the woods. Hindi specifically nilagay kung saan at kailan, pero we all do know that it happened during an era kung saan merong king. Okay, pero doon may nakalagay na nangyari siya in the woods kasi nagpunta yung king sa woods. Okay, number two, who is the main character? Of course, the main character is the king or the proud king. And then number three, who are the characters in the story? So we have the king and a man. Yun ang galing sa lake. And then number four, is it good to be proud and why? So based on the story, no. Because yung pride or yung being proud can mean that someone has exaggerated the sense, has an exaggerated sense of feeling good. Kagaya nung king, wala na siyang pakialam. Basta kung ano lang yung gusto niyang mangyari. Kasi proud na proud siya sa sarili niya. Hindi niya na napapansin na nakakaapak na siya ng ibang tao. And then number five, as young boys and girls, how can you show humility? So, the very basic or very common form of showing humility is respecting others. When you respect others kasi you are being very humble. Okay? Nire-respeto nyo sila hindi dahil natatakot kayo, but you are humble enough to acknowledge the rights of others. Okay? And then, last one. Do you consider the king as a hero or as a villain in the story? Why? So the king is both the hero and the villain because it was his proudness of himself that made him unhappy. So siya yung bida ng kwento kasi tungkol sa kanya yung kwento, pero siya din yung ating kontrabida. Kasi kung hindi siya masyadong proud sa sarili niya, walang problema. Wala siyang problema. At masaya na sana siya. Kaso dahil nga sa pagiging proud niya, yun, naging problema niya yung sarili niya, kaya hindi nagkaroon ng maganda or happy ending. So the king is considered as both the hero and the villain of our story. Okay? So that's it. So that story, The Proud King, from the title itself, alam na natin na ang dinidiscuss niya is about the character. So that story centers on discussing about the character. Wala nga masyadong nabanggit tungkol sa setting, diba? Pero ang daming nabanggit tungkol do sa king. Or nakacenter lang actually yung kwento sa Proud King. So, let's study about character. So, a character is a person, an animal, okay, a being, a creature, or a thing in a story. Okay, writers use characters to perform the action and speak dialogue or moving throughout the story or the plot line. Okay, so a character can be the hero or the villain. Okay? So, pag sinabing heroes, they are the lead characters. Sila yung bida sa story or in a narrative story. And the villains are the enemies of the hero. So, bad guys, ang heroes ay good guys. So, yun yung dalawa. So, hero and villain. In stage arts, we call this protagonist, yung heroes, and then anti or antagonist, yung villain. Okay? So, next we have the setting. So, the setting, although dun sa unang story, hindi siya masyado nabanggit. So, the setting of the story is the context in a story or scene that describes the elements in which a story is taking place, including the time, place, and environment. So, dun sa story na pinag-aralan natin kanina, hindi directly nabanggit kung anong forest, kung may pangalan ba. Basta alam lang natin nagpunta siya sa forest at yung type na yun, hindi rin naman sinabi kung kailan yun, anong taon. Basta ang alam lang natin, panahon kung saan may nag-exist pa na king. So, na-describe naman siya kahit walang directly identification. So, each component in storytelling helps to build the narrative's mood, plot, and character development. Okay? Okay, so now that we know uh, about characters and setting, let's move on to another activity. Kindly go to page 10. Okay, so page 10. So we're going to have page 9 to 10 pala. Page 9 to 10. So we're going to have what's new. So in what's new, meron tayong kwento. Ang title ng kwento is 5 More Minutes. So I'm going to ask you again to read the story and then may kasunod siyang questions. Okay? So here are the questions. Number 1, where did the story take place? Number 2, is the setting of the story realistic? And then number 3, who were the characters in the story? Number 4, who do you think play as the hero in the story? Number 5, is there a villain character in the story? If yes, who is he? So again, you have 5 minutes to answer. So again, this is what's new, page 9 to 10 in your English module. So timer starts now. Okay, are you done? So let us check. So number 1, where did the story take place? So near a playground behind the community church. Okay, so sorry for the wrong spelling, ayusin natin. Okay, so behind the community church. Si ma'am ng ganyan. Okay, so from current slide. So, behind the community church. So, ito, talagang sinabi doon sa story kung saan nangyari. So, is the setting of the story realistic? So, the answer is yes. Okay? Okay, who were the characters in the story? So, we have 3. So, the woman, the man, or the dad, and Bella. Ayan, mali na naman si ma'am. Sorry po. Okay? So, we have 3 characters. And then the 4th one, who do you think play as the hero in the story? So, the man or the dad is the hero of the story. Kasi mas sa kanya na umikot yung kwento. So, siya rin yung nagkwento tungkol kay Benjamin. Si Benjamin, hindi siya character ha. Kwento lang siya nung tatay. Okay, is there a villain character in the story? If yes, who is he? Meron ba? Okay. No, there is none. Wala namang kontrabida. Nagkwento lang talaga. Okay, walang naging problema. Okay? So, that's it. So, let us summarize what we have learned. So, again, narrative is writing that connects ideas, concepts, or events. It connects events, showing their patterns, relating them to each other or to specific ideas, themes, or concepts. So again, narrative, when we say narrative, kwento. Narrative is writing, is pagkukwento. So a narrative is a story. Next, setting is an environment or surrounding in which an event or story takes place. Okay, it may provide particular information about placement and timing. Kunwari, directly sinabi, Valenzuela, Philippines, at present time. Kagaya nung second story natin, talagang sinabi doon kung saan siya nangyari. So, sa playground, behind a community church. Yung first story, hindi directly sinabi. Okay? So, setting could be simply descriptive, naglalarawan, like a lonely cottage on a mountain. Yan yung story. Yan yung setting sa story. Okay? Or social conditions, historical time, geographical location, weather, immediate surroundings, and timing are all different aspects of setting. Okay? Now, a character is a person, animal, being, creature, or a thing in a story. Okay, again, writers use characters to perform the action and speak the dialogue or the moving the story along a plot line. Okay, again, a story can only have one character or protagonist and still be a complete story. Pwedeng ganon. Isa lang yung tauhan. Okay? The character's conflict may be an inner one sa sarili niya, kagaya dun sa proud king. So, siya yung hero, siya din yung villain. Okay? Or a conflict with something natural, such as climbing a mountain. Okay? So, most stories na alam natin have multiple characters, meaning maraming characters. So, these multiple characters are interacting with each other, with one of them as the antagonist, or yung villain or bad guy causing a conflict with the protagonist, yung bida o yung hero in the story. Okay? So that is what we have learned for today. Okay, now, so let's have an activity. So kindly get your English module and go to page 11 and 12. So we're going to answer what's more. So what's more, ito siya. So 1 to 10 item activity. And then, I'll be giving you 10 minutes to read the story and then answer the given sentences. So, you're going to write a pound sign, yung number sign, or an X. Okay? So, Write a number sign if the statement in each number describes the setting and characters in the story. If not, write an X. So you're going to have 10 minutes to answer, and then after 10 minutes, okay, I will send the key to correction or the answer key in our respective GC. So, doon sa messenger classroom natin. Okay, after 10 minutes. And then, after 10 minutes, once na-check na natin yan, we're going to answer the assessment. So, assessment tayo. So, okay? So, assessment, we're going to answer page 12 and 13. Okay? So, letter A will be checked today. So, check today, letter D yan. But letter B will be your output. Okay? So, i-check natin yung letter A, pero yung letter B ay magiging output nyo. Okay? So, ito lang siya. So, letter A. So, since letter B will be your output, ito siya, si Ma'am Dayan po yung mag-check. So, again, you're going to answer this once we're finished checking what's more. And then, you can start answering the assessment. So, I will give you 5 minutes to answer the assessment before I send the answer key or key to correction. So, maliwanag po ba? Hawak na ba ang module? If there are no questions dun sa GC lang. If we have no questions na, we can start answering what's more, and then after 10 minutes, we shall check, and then we'll have the assessment, and then after 5 minutes, we shall check. So that's it. This is Ma'am Dayan. See you on Thursday. We will be discussing another element of a narrative, which is the plot. Okay, see you on Thursday. Bye!